Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy, Delightful Kissboy, and today I'm going to be reading random Wikipedia articles to attempt to prove a point. So, I recently got a comment from Goblino a la mode who says, could listen to DKB reading Wikipedia pages, and I wanted to see if that is true. So I figured, hey, I'll just read a bunch of random Wikipedia articles, and we're going to see how boring this is. I think it will be probably pretty boring, but we're going to see how it goes. This is just an experiment, a little social experiment, if you will. And this is just trash that I'm uploading to my secondary YouTube channel. I'm just going to try it out. Why not? All right, I'm going to do this for 30 minutes. Now the rules are, I get 3 strikes. All right, or I guess 3 vetoes, I should say. So I'm going to start the 30-minute timer, and I can veto up to 3 articles and skip them and move on. So those are reserved for really boring stuff or really long stuff, right? Because the whole deal is even if I go past the 30 minutes, I have to finish whatever article I'm on, right? So we're going to see what happens. Yeah. Those are the rules of the game. They're completely arbitrary because this is complete nonsense. But let's get started. I'm going to start the 30-minute timer now, and let's get to yapping. All right, so 30-minute timer starting. Now what I got to do is I got to go up here. I got to go to random article. And here we go. This is our first article. Let's go. All right, this is called Power Trio. Power Trio is a jazz album by pianist John Hicks, bassist Cecil McBee, and drummer Elvin Jones. Recorded in 1990 and released on the Novus label. The reception. The AllMusic review stated, the summit recording by pianist John Hicks, drummer Elvin Jones, and bassist Cecil McBee might not always hit the heights, but it still impresses with a fine repertoire and quality playing, in spite of a few musical missteps and somewhat tinny sound of Hicks's piano. This fine trio recording still comes highly recommended. And this is the picture over here. This looks like a goddamn elementary school or band, book. It'd be like Essential Elements, Volume 3. Anyway, we got track listing. Number 1, Cousin Mary with John Coltrane. Are these covers? Like, is that a John Coltrane cover? I don't know enough about John Coltrane's music, but I've heard some of his stuff. It's pretty good. And we got After the Rain, also another Coltrane. And then The Basic Blues. Wow, nice little pun there, buddy. Cecil McBee. We got Duke's Place, Duke Ellington. Yeah, these must be covers, right? And then Chelsea Bridge, Billy Strayhorn, and then After the Morning, John Hicks. We got the personnel down here. It's got 3 stars on AllMusic. I'll probably just listen to this out of principle after this video is done. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, off to a great start. We were reading about obscure jazz albums. All right, random. South Fork Clackamas River. The South Fork Clackamas River is a tributary roughly 8 miles, 13 kilometers long of the Clackamas River in the U.S. state of Oregon. Beginning near South Fork Mountain in the western Cascade Range, the river flows generally north through Clackamas County to meet the larger river at Big Cliff. Most of the South Fork's drainage basin lies within the Mount Hood National Forest. The lower reaches of the river are part of the National Wild and Scenic Rivers System. Recreational opportunities in the basin include hiking, camping, and fishing for trout. A 70-foot, 21-meter waterfall prevents salmon and other migratory fish from swimming upriver beyond the first 0.4 miles, or 0.6 kilometers. Man, isn't this just interesting stuff? Aren't we glad that we're doing this right now? This is great. We're learning about a random river in Oregon. Excellent stuff. All right, course. Originating near South Fork Mountain in the Cascade Range, the river runs generally north through rugged terrain in the Mount Hood National Forest. Near the headwaters, the 8-mile, 13-kilometer river flows northwest, passing under Forest Road 4540, which parallels the river's left bank for about 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers. At this point, the river flows under Forest Road 45, a loop road that follows ridges to the left and right of the South Fork for much of the rest of its course. Beyond Forest Road 45, the river turns to the northeast. God, this person is verbally describing some shit that we could look up on Google Maps. Like, what the hell is this? He's like, let me just verbally tell you the directions that this river goes. Excellent stuff, man. At 4.2 miles, 6.8 kilometers from the mouth, it receives, the East Fork of the South Fork Clackamas River from the right. Further downstream, Oscar Creek enters from the right. Wow, we're getting a collab. Collab with Oscar Creek, bro? Then Memaloose Creek from the right, only 0.55 miles, 0.89 kilometers from the mouth. Shortly thereafter, the river plunges over the 70-foot, 21-meter South Fork Clackamas River Falls, or South Fork Falls, before joining the Clackamas River at Big Cliff, about 35 miles, 56 kilometers from the larger river's confluence with the Willamette River, there we go. The 4.2 miles, 6.8 kilometers of the South Fork Clackamas. How long is this? I was almost going to veto it, but we're almost done here. Between the East Fork of the South Fork and the main stem, Clackamas River, were designated wild in the National Wild and Scenic Rivers System in 2009. Designated rivers are classified as either wild, scenic, or recreational, depending on the degree of access and amount of nearby development. I actually didn't know that. That's actually an interesting little factoid. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. You learn something every day. Watershed. The South Fork Clackamas River Basin covers 17,648 acres, aka 71.42 kilometers squared, or about 27.6 square miles, 71.5 square kilometers of rugged terrain, most of which lies within the Mount Hood National Forest. The Clackamas Ranger District of the U.S. Forest Service manages 79% of the land, the Bureau of Land Management 18%, while private owners control 3%. Elevations within the watershed vary from 4,852 feet, 1.479 kilometers, at the South Fork Mountain to 676 feet, 206 meters at the river mouth. Watersheds bordering the South Fork Basin are Fish Creek to the southeast, tributaries of the Molalla River to the southwest, Clear Creek to the northwest, and the Clackamas River to the northeast. Recreation. A hiking guide calls the river, quote-unquote, one of the most remote large streams in the state of Oregon. This guy's dissing this river. He calls it a stream. That makes it sound pathetic. The Hillockburn Trail, which provides the only access to the lower river corridor, is 3.2 miles, 5.1 kilometers round trip. It is usually open from mid-March to December, is moderately difficult, and has an elevation gain of 900 feet, 270 meters. It runs from Forest Road 45 west of the river to a campsite along the stream. Trail uses include hiking, mountain biking, backpacking, and access to catch and release fishing for trout. Vegetation, well, that's boring, catch and release. I'm trying to cook up some fish. Vegetation along the trail consists mainly of Douglas firs and western hemlocks, with an understory of salal, sword fern, and Oregon grape. A 70-foot, 21-meter waterfall, 0.4 miles, 0.6 kilometers from the mouth, prevents fish migration between the upper and lower river. Native winter steelhead, spring Chinook salmon, and coho salmon frequent the river downstream of the barrier, but are off limits to anglers. See also list of rivers in Oregon. I don't think I will. Let's take a little look here, though. I mean, that looks quaint. Looks like a good time. I don't know. I mean, it's running next to a road. This just looks like a pretty average-ass river, but I don't know. I dig it. Fuck it, dude. All right, well, we learned about a river. Let's take a look at this. They don't even have it. Where is it marked? They just say it is located in Oregon, but where? You just highlight it, dude. Am I stupid? Where you spend 30 minutes verbally describing the trajectory of the river in explicit detail, and you provide a picture that doesn't even highlight where it is. Okay, that's cool. All right, anyway, random article. We're moving on. The Jarmels. The Jarmels was an American doo-wop rhythm and blues group formed in 1959 in Richmond, Virginia. Best known for their only hit, 1961's A Little Bit of Soap. Citation needed. I do need a citation there because I've never heard of A Little Bit of Soap. What kind of name for a fucking song is that? Anyway, career. The start of their big break, quote unquote, came in 1960 when they were at a local Richmond venue where Ben E. King was appearing, and they met him. King invited them to travel to New York City and meet with various record companies, including Laurie Records. The Cherokees impressed Laurie after auditioning with King's signature song, Stand By Me, that is a Stephen King book, and became the first African-American group that Laurie signed. The group was renamed the Jarmels after a street in Harlem, New York. Ah, that's pretty cool. Jim Gribble, the known relative of Dale Gribble, who had previously worked with the Mystics and the Passions, was assigned as manager of the Jarmels. In early 1961, they recorded the single Little Lonely One, which did not find much success outside New York. However, their second single, A Little Bit of Soap, reached number 12 in America on the Billboard chart in June of the same year. It was a hit with people who love cleaning things with just a little bit of soap. All right, the flip side of the recording was The Way You Look Tonight, a song featured in the film Swing Time and originally performed by Fred Astaire. Okay, I've heard of Fred Astaire. It won the Academy Award for Best Original Song in 1936. Soap proved to be the only hit single for the Jarmels. The next four singles, including Just the Way You Look Tonight and a remake of the 1935 Bing Crosby hit Red Sails in the Sunset, did not chart at all. The group continued to perform throughout the 1960s, recording a remake of Come On Girl in 1963. There were several personnel changes, notably the addition of Major Harris, who would later go on to join the Delphonics. Okay. The group disbanded in 1969. Members, the group was composed of Nathaniel Ruff, nice, Jesse Paul Burnett, Ray Smith, Earl Christian, and Thomas Eldridge. And there's their singles. We have Little Lonely One, A Little Bit of Soap, incredible hit that we all know and love. I'll Follow You, She Loves to Dance, Red Sails in the Sunset, Little Bug, and Come On Girl. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to say anything about that. There we go. We've learned about the Jarmels. I'll have to listen to also A Little Bit of Soap after this video here. All right, random article. List of attractions and events in the Louisville metropolitan area. This is pretty fucking long. Oh my god. But it is a bunch of recreational stuff. But I'm going to use... we're vetoing that. All right, so one veto used. It's a little too long. I'm not going to do that. All right, here we go. Summer Park Dam. Summer Park Dam. Summer Park Dam is a concrete arch dam across the Summer Hill Creek in the Central West region of New South Wales, Australia. Apparently, I have visited the Wikipedia page for Australia in the past. You heard it here first. The main purpose of the dam is to supply potable water to the city of Orange. They have a city called just Orange over there? All right. The impounded reservoir is called Summer Park Reservoir. I like that. Summer Park Reservoir. Location and features. The dam is located 4 kilometers, 2.5 miles. Ooh, they got to reverse this time. East of Orange, with the secondary water source Spring Creek Reservoir located to the southeast of Orange. Built in 1962, Summer Park Dam is owned and maintained by Orange City Council. Prior to the construction of Summer Park Dam, Lake Cannabis. Wow, that is like, isn't a bolus some like shit that gets stuck in your throat or something like that? It's like when you're barfing something up. This sounds like you're barfing up cannabis, which is kind of sick actually. That would be a good band name. Barfing up cannabis. Then known as Meadow Creek Dam on the Molong Creek, was also used as a domestic water source. The Summer Park Dam, 18 cubic meters, 640 cubic feet, concrete wall is 31 meters, 102 feet high, and the arch crest is 208 meters, 682 feet long, with a crest width of 2.4 meters, 7 feet, 10 inches. Excuse me. God. At 100% capacity, the dam wall holds back 70,290 megaliters, 611 times 10 to the 6th cubic feet of water. The surface area of Summer Park Reservoir is 1.3 square kilometers, 0.5 square miles, and the catchment area is 179 square kilometers, 69 square miles. The uncontrolled 62 meters, 203 feet spillway is capable of discharging 260 cubic meters per second, which is 9,200 cubic feet per second. Upgrade. All right. Surveillance and dam safety inspections are conducted regularly by the Orange City Council. In 2005 and 2010, the dam overflowed. Wow. They're not going to elaborate on that? Did it do anything? Did it kill somebody? In 2011, the council published a report giving options for raising the height of the dam. Okay, well, what were the conclusions? Did people die from this? Did they raise the height of the dam? I need to know. This is a cliffhanger. All right, well, whatever. We're moving on. There's some things that just aren't meant for us. Let me take a look, though. Wow. This looks absolutely beautiful. Incredible stuff. All right, new random article. All right, we got 14 minutes left. This is all about Barkley as a surname. Barkley is an English surname. Notable people with the surname include sports. Brian Barkley, American baseball pitcher. Charles Barkley, American basketball player. David Barkley, Australian rules football player. Doug Barkley, Canadian ice hockey defenseman and head coach. Eric Barkley, American basketball player. Iran Barkley, American boxer. I thought he was going to be like a track guy. You know, he's like, hey, Iran. Jeff Barkley, American baseball pitcher. Lucille Barkley, American actress. American asshole. Matt Barkley, American football quarterback. Wait, how's that sports? Wait. Sports. Lucille Barkley was a film actress. Why is she listed in the sports section? Hey, I need to edit this page. Anyway, Matt Barkley, born, blah, blah, blah. American football quarterback who plays in the National Football League. Noel Barkley, footballer who represented New Zealand internationally. Ollie Barkley, English rugby player. Red Barkley, American baseball infielder. Ross Barkley, English footballer. Sam Barkley, American baseball second baseman. And Saquon Barkley, American football player. In politics, we have, I'm just making sure that this wasn't long as hell, Alvin W. Barkley, 35th Vice President of the United States. Alexander Barkley, American politician from New York. Charles E. Barkley, American politician from Maryland. Dean Barkley, Senator of Minnesota. Jane Hadley Barkley, Second Lady of the United States, wife of Alvin W. Barkley. Margaret Barkley, member of the Ohio House of Representatives. And Richard Clark Barkley, American diplomat. In the military, we've got David B. Barkley, American soldier during the First World War. Just a guy. John L. Barkley. Oh, he didn't make it. RIP. John L. Barkley, American soldier during the First World War. He made it. Good stuff. Arts and entertainment. Brad Barkley, American writer. Okay, move this bitch into here. James Barkley, American artist. And then Roger Barkley, American radio personality. Other. Charles William Barkley, English ship's captain and fur trader. Frances Barkley, wife of Charles William Barkley, first woman to sail around the world without deception. What does that, what does that mean? Like you're like, oh, I don't lie. I'm telling the truth this time. Okay. Fred Alexander Barkley, American botanist, and then Russell Barkley, doctor of clinical psychology and ADHD researcher. See also Charles Barkley disambiguation, or Barkley disambiguation. I thought we were just on the Barkley disambiguation. Apparently it goes deeper. It goes deeper than that. I go, oh, as a surname. Okay, never mind. All right, well, that was fascinating. All right, moving on to another random article. Haluzis in the Zlin district. Haluzis is a municipality and village in Zlin district in the Zlin region of the Czech Republic. It has about 80 inhabitants. Wow, we're getting into some deep cuts. Haluzis, I think I pronounced that differently than I was before, lies approximately 20 kilometers, 12 miles southeast of Zlin, and 272 kilometers, 169 miles southeast of Prague. Okay, well, let's take a little look at this picture. This looks pretty quaint, actually. I dig this. It's like a nice little town. I would visit here. Meet all 80 inhabitants in one day. The flag is a MS Paint bell with a what appears to be a, what is that? Like a glaive going through it. Okay, I think I could have drawn better. This is some shit I would draw in PowerPoint, not gonna lie. And then the coat of arms is once again MS Paint, and they've got whatever the hell those are. Okay, I was gonna say pot leaves, but they don't really look like pot leaves. Okay, it's the Czech Republic, and as you can see, let's take a look at the population trend. It starts off with 140, goes to 176. Okay, so it's kind of hovering around the 160 range. And then what happened here? Negative 27.6%. What happened? Hey, I need you guys to go and find out what happened in Haluzis between 1930 and 1950. Oh, wait. Okay, we're not going to get into that. I think I have an idea. Okay, and then we go back up to 141, and it goes back down to 124. And okay, now this one I'm curious about. 124 to 99, and now we're dwindling all-time low, like the band, in 2001. Pops back up, we got 83. We've gained one guy between 2011 and 2021. All right, well, hopefully you hang in there, Haluzis, but we need to find out what this mystery is. This one right here. I think I have an idea of what happened here. All right, we're going to do a little random article again. Road Makumbu. Okay. Road Bath Sheba Makumbu, born 29th August 1976, is an artist from the Republic of Congo. Working in oil painting and sculpture, she has exhibited around the world. She works from Brussels and Brazzaville. That's an unfortunate. Brazzaville, baby. Let's go. Let's go. In 2012, she won the Grand Prix of Arts and Letter of the President of the Republic of Congo. And the next year was appointed an officer in the Ordre du Dévouement Congolese. Excellent. Career. Road Bath Sheba Makumbu was born on 29th of August 1976 in Brazzaville. Excellent stuff. Republic of Congo, and is the daughter of painter David Makumbu. Makumbu has been creating art since 1989, originally oil paintings, made with a knife. These are considered to be distinctly African, but with influences from realism, expressionism, and cubism. Since 2002, she has worked in sculpture also, creating figures out of sawdust and wood glue over a metal frame. These tend to be depictions of dying rural African trades, and some are up to 3 meters, 9.8 feet tall. Got a little worried there. Makumbu's work has been featured in more than 230 exhibitions across the world. She won the 2012 Grand Prix of Arts and Letter of the President of the Republic. She has since moved to Brussels, Belgium. She was appointed an officer of the Ordre du Dévouement Congolese by President Denis Sassou Nguesso. I don't know. At the opening of the Pan-African Music Festival on July 13th, 2013. The award was for her artistic abilities and also her work to spread awareness of Congolese art through the world. Makumbu has experimented with hairstyling, creating traditional and modern hairstyles on models that were exhibited at the Brussels Ethno-Tendance Fashion Week in November 2017. She maintains workshops in Brussels and Brazzaville, baby, hell yeah. Sounds like a pretty cool person. Let's take a look here. Let's see what these sculptures are looking like. Can I get a little zoom in action here? We'll zoom in. Some low quality images there, but yeah, it looks like some pretty cool sculptures. I dig it. They look cool. I wish I could see them in higher def, but alas, we are forced to just stick to the Wikipedia articles. All right, moving on. All right, cool person, good stuff. I like to see it. All right, moving on to another random article. This is Felix Baranski, just an old man. Gotta love it. Felix Baranski, 1915 to 2006, was a Polish mathematician and active member of the so-called Lwów School of Mathematics. Born May 1915 in Lwów, Austria-Hungary, modern Lviv, Ukraine, he joined the circle of young, talented mathematicians formed around Stefan Banach and Hugo Steinhaus. During the period of German occupation of his hometown, he made his living as a lice feeder. What the hell is a lice feeder? A louse feeder was a job in interwar and occupied Poland at the Lviv Institute for Study of Typhus and Virology. Louse feeders were human sources of blood for lice infected with typhus? What? Wait. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna have to break my rule real quick. We need to read about that. Okay. In the Institute of Rudolf Weigel, expelled from Lwów after the war, he settled in Krakow, where he joined, or Krakow, whatever, the local Krakow University of Technology. He was also admitted into the Polish Mathematics Society. Okay, what? We gotta look at this real quick. I'm sorry. Cages with typhus-carrying lice strapped onto a person's thigh during World War II. Feeding the lice with human subjects' blood was the only way to produce a viable typhus vaccine? What? Okay, wait. So louse feeders were human sources of blood for lice infected with typhus, which were then used to research possible vaccines against the disease, in Poland. Research into typhus vaccine started in 1920. Background, what the hell, dude? Procedure, the development of the typhus vaccine involved several stages. First, the lice larvae had to be bred and then fed on human blood. Once they matured, they were removed from the feeders, held down in a clamp machine specially designed by Weigel. Wait, the lice were? They had like little clamps on them or some shit? Or we're talking about this shit. And anally injected with the strain of typhus bacteria. At that point, the infected louse had to be fed human blood for about 5 more days. The stage of production process was carried the greatest risk to the human feeder of contracting the disease. Weigel and his staff tried to prevent the danger by heavily vaccinating the feeders before. Let me pause the timer. Actually, we're in cheater mode now. I'll add 2 minutes back to the timer because I'm just interested in this now. What the fuck is this shit? They try to prevent the danger by heavily vaccinating the feeders before. I thought they were using the feeders to develop a vaccine. What are they vaccinating them with if the vaccine doesn't exist? What are you talking about, dude? Weigel and his staff tried to prevent once the louse was sufficiently infected, it was removed from the human feeder, killed in a solution of phenol, and then dissected. The contents of the louse abdomen, its feces, was removed and then ground up into a paste. The paste was then made into the typhus vaccine. Wait, they used wait. So they used this process to make the vaccine that they then gave to the future patients to keep doing this to prevent them from getting the disease? Okay. The feeding was done through the use of specially constructed small wooden boxes. This is the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life, dude. Lice feeding around the world. Human lice feeders were also used in America in the 1940s. The Wilmington Morning Star reported that the U.S. government's researchers paid around 60 lice feeders $60 a month, equivalent to $1,120 in 2023, rising to $120, equivalent to $2,240 in 2023, due to the lack of people willing to participate. Who would have guessed? Humans were used because lice failed to thrive on animals, until it was discovered that some could live on an Easter bunny called Samson. Samson and his descendants were used to conduct hundreds of experiments? What the fuck, dude? Notable feeders? Oh my god. Alright, well, the more you know. Alright, well, wow. Okay, that was interesting. This guy's not interesting, necessarily. But that was interesting. Okay, we're gonna start the timer back up. I just learned some crazy shit today. Okay, we're starting it up. We got 5 minutes left. All right, let's go. Random article. Spanish Campaign Medal. The Spanish Campaign Medal was a military award of the United States Armed Forces, which recognized those men of the U.S. military who had served in the Spanish-American War. Although a single decoration, there were two versions of the Spanish Campaign Medal, one for men of the United States Army and another for the forces of the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps. The Army Medal was designed by Francis Davis Millet, while the Navy and Marines medals were designed by Rudolph Freund of Bailey, Banks and Biddle. Dude, that is an incredible name for was a retailer of jewelry. Bailey, Banks and Biddle. That's awesome, man. That's a great name. The alliteration, though, man. Early versions of the Spanish Campaign Medal suspended the medal from a gold and red ribbon, but this design was changed in 1913 upon the request from Spain that a United States service medal not bear the colors of the Spanish nation. The new medal was suspended from a blue and yellow ribbon, so they're repping the Ukraine colors. Separate medallions existed for both the Navy and Army. Excuse me. God. Marine Corps recipients received the Navy version with the seal of the United States Marine Corps on the reverse of the medal. The only device authorized to the Spanish Campaign Medal was the citation star, and then only for the U.S. Army recipients of the decoration. Army version. The Army version of the Spanish Campaign Medal was established on January 12, 1905. It was awarded for military service performed between May 11th and August 16th, 1898. I'm getting my dyslexia in. I actually don't have dyslexia. In the geographical regions of either Cuba, Puerto Rico, or the Philippine Islands. As of July 1st, 1923, a total of 7,667, that's a satisfying number, medals were awarded. For those men of the Army who had served on active duty during the I'm just going to veto it. Nah, I don't want to read this shit. We're going to veto it. We only have 3 minutes left. We are using one more veto to move on here. All right. 2020 Mackay Cutters season. The 2020 Mackay Cutters season was the 13th. Okay, well, this is a quick one. 13th in the club's history, coached by Michael Crawley and captained by Jaden Hodges. They competed in the QRL's Intrust Super Cup. The Cutters played just one game in 2020 after the season was canceled due to COVID-19 pandemic. Nice. Season summary. Mackay entered 2020 with a new head coach, former longtime NRL assistant Michael Crawley, and a host of new recruits, including former NRL player and Tongan international Mfoa Hingano. The Cutters lost their opening game of the season 23-22 to the North's Devils. On March 17th, 2 days after the completion of round one, the Queensland Rugby League, QRL, announced a 10-week suspension of the competition until June 5th due to the COVID-19 pandemic. On March 27th, 10 days after the suspension, the QRL confirmed the cancellation of the competition for the 2020 season. Wow, very cool stuff. I'm not going to read all that shit. And we'll do one more article. I got about a minute left here. And this is Weersenduzi. Weersenduzi is a village in the administrative district in within Simona County, Podlaski Voivodeship in northeastern Poland. Okay, yes, it makes sense. It's in Poland. It lies approximately 9 kilometers, 6 miles north of the city and 72 kilometers, 45 miles south of the region capital, Białystok. In 2008, the village had a population of 120. Hell yeah, dude. Balling out. Well, that's very interesting. All right, I got 38 seconds. Here we go. Last article. We got General Joseph Colton. Joseph Colton, the original G.I. Joe, is a fictional character from G.I. Joe, a real American hero, a line of military-themed toys created by Hasbro. He has appeared as a character later in the comic book series, but did not appear in any of the animated series. He is portrayed by Bruce Willis in the film G.I. Joe Retaliation. Wow. Profile. Joseph B. Colton graduated with the highest honors from the United States Military Academy. All right, the timer's going off. Let's turn you off. Turn you off. Okay, there we go. Highest honors from the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1960. An expert marksman, he was recruited by Special Forces and later became a Green Beret. During service overseas, he participated in numerous combat operations, but saw minimal acknowledgement as his missions were quote-unquote ultra classified. In 1963, he was appointed by then President John F. Kennedy to create and command an ultimate freedom fighting force. It was at this time that he received the code name G.I. Joe. He later retired, quote-unquote, from his active military duty and was placed as the head of a secret strategic defensive initiative installation in New York City. There he served with the lead scientist G.I. Jane, who originally maintained cover as a combat nurse. Toys. G.I. Joe was first released in 1994 as a mail-in exclusive for the 30th anniversary of G.I. Joe. Based on the version of G.I. Joe from 1964, the figure was available in limited stock. Due to unanticipated orders, Hasbro sold out all of the figures and no more were produced, eventually leading Hasbro to mail an apology. What sent to who? To just everybody? What kind of sentence is that, buddy? They just had to be like, sorry, bud. Doesn't surprise me. Classic Hasbro. He was not released again until 2006, this time as part of a multi-figure pack, the Viper Lockdown. How long is this article? Oh my god. All right, well, strap in. We're learning about G.I. Joe. I know nothing about G.I. Joe except what's in this article now. He was not released, blah, 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 multi-figure pack, the Viper Lockdown. This version of G.I. Joe was made up of parts from different figures and is not a separate mold. Overall, he has had 2 releases using a total of 2 different molds. He was also released in the 12-inch line in 1994 as an homage to his original figure released in 1964. Comics. Comic book advertisement, 1975 to 1976. Between 1975 and 1976, Hasbro published comic book advertisements starring the Adventure Team, featuring the Joseph Colton Atomic Man and Bullet Man as members. Wow, very cool. Marvel Comics. It was a Marvel comic? Okay. It was a cover of G.I. Joe, a real American hero. General Joseph Colton made very few appearances during the original G.I. Joe, a real American hero series. In issue number 86, he's working with his old colleague, Jane, in a secure level in the Chrysler building, renamed as the Studebaker building due to licensing issues. The laboratories are attacked by Cobra forces, which desire the orbital pulsed weapon system hidden inside. Joe, Jane, and a small squad of official G.I. Joe forces, including Repeater and Lightfoot, who could forget them, defeat the Cobra soldiers. In issue number 127, General Colton explains the Rapid Pulse Electron Beam, RPEB, to Duke and Stalker. He discovers a tap into the control system, leading to a telephone switching station in New Jersey. New York, Jersey, where Cobra Commander has taken charge. Realizing that their systems are breached, General Colton has Jane shut down all systems. General Colton, Duke, Stalker, and Wild Bill then head to the phone switching station, but Cobra shoots down the Joe's tomahawk. The Joe, their group is called the Joes, and Cobra Commander escapes, rushing to New York City and the RPEB. General Colton, Stalker, and Duke use battlecopters to fly back to the Chrysler Building. I thought they changed the name due to licensing issues, but Cobra Commander has already taken control of the RPEB and uses it to eliminate a drug shipment by Headman. This is my guy, Headman. Hell yeah, dude, give me some of that head. Cobra Commander and his crew then use civilian disguises to walk undetected past the Joes. I love how they name themselves after one guy. General Colton also appears in issue 152, where he is called back to active duty for a secret mission. Ace is assigned to deliver Colton to DC and asks Colton when the last time he was in the back seat of a combat jet. What? Ace is why is this a pertinent detail? Ace is assigned to deliver Colton to DC and asks Colton when the last time he was in the back seat of a combat jet. This prompts Colton to reminisce about his earlier years in battle, leading to a flashback story about the original plan to form a G.I. Joe team. Wow. Devil's Due Publishing, G.I. Joe Frontline. The first 4 issues of Devil's Due Publishing's G.I. Joe Frontline featured Larry Hama's story. Story of one last mission, the mission that never was. After the official disbandment of the G.I. Joe team, they hold one last mission. They had to transport the Rapid Pulse Particle Beam from Florida to Colton's location in New York City. During this series, Colton is stationed in the Strategic Defense Initiative, STI. Reinstatement. General Colton appears later in the series. Wow. He comes out of retirement to lead the G.I. Joe team after Hawk is paralyzed by Cobra Commander. His leadership is temporary, as he is quickly sidelined by the cabal of generals known as the Jigglers, who instead want General Philip Ray to lead the team. Colton becomes a target when Red Shadows began going after G.I. Joe and Cobra agents. He is shot and apparently killed by the Red Shadows leader, Wilder Vaughn, a man Colton once knew. The injuries are critical, but Colton survives. Can anybody defeat this man? America's elite. After a year of disbandment, General Colton is asked by the president to head a much smaller G.I. Joe team. In the absence of Hawk, he is reluctant, but accepts the position and leads the Joe Swansons from their new headquarters, a secret facility known as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. When Cobra takes control of Mars and begins to sell weaponry to insurgents, terrorists, and rebel groups, General Colton goes on the offensive, mobilizing the entire G.I. Joe roster and launching missions to capture Cobra agents still at large. During quote-unquote World War III, trending on Twitter right now, General Colton leads a small unit in retaking Fort Meade. When the Joes attack Cobra's Appalachian base, curse the Midwest, General Colton is shot in the back by Cobra Commander, but again he survives. Can anybody defeat this man? At the end of the series, he is able to convince the president that G.I. Joe is still needed. With Hawk at his side, he leads a fully restored and recognized G.I. Joe team into battle. Alternative realities and continuities. General Colton has made one appearance as a major character outside the main G.I. Joe continuity. G.I. Joe versus the Transformers, Black Horizon, Volume 4. During this fourth miniseries, Hawk discovered G.I. Joe was being held captive by the forces of Cobra Law in the Himalayas. Along with his team, Joe was captured by the Decepticons in 1978. He later escaped to help Hawk and Optimus Prime defeat Cobra Law. That is borderline racist. Not even borderline. Anyway, Hasbro Comic Books, Book Universe, IDW, the Intellectual Dark Web Publishing. This is Jordan Peterson's fucking publishing company. In the Hasbro Comic Book Universe, Colton was a member of the adventure team alongside Miles Mayhem Mannheim. Oh my God, what kind of fucking name is that? Miles Mayhem Mannheim, Mike Atomic Man Power, Richard Bullet Man Ruby, and Alonzo Stalker Wilkinson. On their mission to the tomb of Amtoltec, they battled an army of robotic mummies before having an encounter with the Decepticon named Soundwave. By the end of the search, the adventure team retrieved an ancient artifact they codenamed the Talisman, after Megatron led the 2000 Decepticon invasion on Earth. Who could forget? Colton began fearing what the Transformers could do to humanity. In the meantime, he joined his fellow Joes in their final victory against Cobra. By the end, Colton's worldview is drastically changed after the treachery of Galvatron with the Earth Defense Command. Prior to the Revolution event, we all know about that, Colton was replaced by Dire Wraith, who attempted to control the Earth Defense Command by excluding Marissa Fairborn and Spike Witwicky. He also made horrific experiments on Aaron Grundy, Axiom, a skilled computer programmer, relatable, rip to my tech boys, who would be transformed into a monster loyal to the race. But the imposter was later killed by Rom, Hacksaw Man, whose death made G.I. Joe declare war against the Autobots until they realized the truth about the Wraith infiltration. Meanwhile, the real Colton is revealed to be alive, having cut off his right hand in order to escape from the Dire Wraith who replaced him. Convinced that the Transformers are in league with the Dire Wraiths and must be destroyed, Colton went on hiding and became the international criminal known as Baron Ironblood, which made him cross paths with Action Man Program. He has been secretly recruiting villains to form the Iron Ring and launch a preemptive nuclear strike against Cybertron, setting the events of First Strike in motion. As the Iron Ring attacked Cybertron, Colton sent Dr. Mindbender, disguised as Ironblood, as a decoy while he searched the planet's core in order to power the Talisman and destroy the Transformers. Inside the core, Colton and the Iron Ring are confronted by Scarlett Johansson and her comrades. At the battle's climax, Colton's closest ally, Garrison Krieger, reveals his true identity as Merklin, a wizard from the planet Prismos, and explains that he has been using the Iron Ring's need so he could use the Talisman to transform Cybertron and the Earth into new versions of Prismos. Of course, who couldn't see this coming? He then magically teleports everyone back to Cybertron's surface, where Colton sadly surrenders, having realized he helped an even worse enemy to ensure Earth's incoming destruction rather than saving it. Colton was last seen in Transformers Unicron miniseries, where he reluctantly helps the Autobots to battle Unicron, who has awakened as a side effect by the same invasion he had caused in Cybertron. Wow, that was quite the story. Man, All right, well, so we got live action film. I don't know if we could top that. This is a fitting conclusion. That just worked out well. Live action film. General Colton is portrayed by Bruce Willis in G.I. Joe Retaliation, the sequel to G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra. The movie was released March 28th, 2013 through collaboration of Paramount Pictures and Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. In the film, General Colton has one of George S. Patton's M1911 pistols. What? Why are these like minute details included? Like, who gives a fuck about his his pistol? Colton was mentioned by Scarlett in Snake Eyes as the G.I. Joe's general and leader after she handed Snake Eyes a file on his father. Wow. Well, there we go. I think we learned a lot today. We learned about lice feeding and G.I. Joe in way too specific detail, specifically about their Transformer crossover, which sounds amazing. I cannot see any flaws with this narrative here, but there you go. All right, DKB reads Wikipedia pages, all Goblino a la mode. I didn't even remember his name was that when I said Allah. I hope you enjoyed this. This was kind of stupid, but there you go, man. You ask, you receive. That's how we do. Holy shit. All right, anyway, take it easy. Bye-bye.